Hello, my good sis, my good bro. Welcome again to Faithful Footsteps, where we're doing what? We're remaining faithful as we follow God's footsteps. Last time we talked, we did Exodus 15, 16, and 17, where we have the griping, the ever complaining Israelites complaining about food, complaining about water, complaining about this, complaining about that. So, I guess we'll keep with this complaining. But never remembering where God brought them from, but complaining about the place that they are at. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so Exodus 18 says Jethro's visit. Okay, so Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, heard about everything that God had done for Moses and the Israelites. Okay, so he brought Moses, his wife, and his two sons. They made a sacrifice to God and ate a meal. So the next day, Moses sat down to judge the people and help them to settle their disputes. And they stood around Moses from morning to evening. So when Moses' father-in-law saw everything that was going on, he gave Moses some advice. He said, this task is too heavy for you. You will eventually wear out you and the people. You can't do this alone. You should select some able men, some God-fearing men, trustworthy and hating dishonest prophet. Place them over the people as as commanders of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. So they should judge the people at all times. They can bring you the major cases, but they can judge the minor ones themselves. This will lighten your load, and it will bear it up with you. If you do this and God directs you to do it, then you'll be able to endure, and all these people will be able to go home satisfied. So Moses listened to his father-in-law, and he did everything that he said. And then Moses' father-in-law went home. Sometimes God sends people in your life just to give you a dime or a drop of wisdom, and then they leave. Pay attention to what they say. Even in the Bible, it says that the older will teach the young. And I know it's sad to say that in these 2000s that we really don't see a lot of that, because you see a lot of the elder people trying to be young. They're not walking in wisdom nowadays. A lot of them, it's really creepy how things have flipped. Because I was born in 1974, and when you sit back and you pay attention to the development of the world, you see more evil come in and less wisdom in. And it's very seldom that you find a elderly person that's actually walking in the ways of God and that's really trying to share wisdom. Honey, you have some, and it's sad to say, that's claimed to be Christian and have hatred in their heart and won't teach the young because they are jealous of the way that God has used them. I've experienced this in the church myself when I was 26, so therefore I've seen it in the church. I mean, even to the point of where it's really sad, where the older women were telling people, oh, she not supposed to come up here and take over the church, because the pastor, he liked the way that God was using me. And I wasn't trying to take over the church. I expected you, being the elder woman, the mature one, to help me in what God was doing in my life, helping me to teach the children, because that's what I was doing. But they didn't like it. Whatever God laid on my heart to do, it was always a fight. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's very, very, very sad. They even went so much to the point of going out there saying that I had witchcraft over the pastor. Baby, they anointed the they anointed the grounds outside. Let me tell you, I will never forget this. It was so ridiculous, and I was like, I can't believe that this is going on. This is my life. I can't believe at that particular point that this was my life. I had really just gotten into Christ, and God was using me. I had a call on my life, and you know how when you first get saved, you reading, you got this closer to God and all of that, and God is just using you, and you are glad to do what he say, which we should always be like that. And me at my young 26 and them in their older 50s and 60s, I'm watching you fight against everything God told me to do. And I'm listening at the bad things that you are saying about me. And even though it did affect me, I'm not going to lie and say that it didn't. It did affect me, but it didn't infect me. You understand? Because it didn't stop me. That's what I mean. It affected me because I've been knowing these women all of my life. And it wasn't until I started walking in the things of God that they began to have a problem. Long as I was out living my life in the club and all of this there, it was fine. But it was when I started doing what the Lord had told me to do that it became a problem. So that's why I said what I said. And that's only a short synopsis of what else transpired. Eventually, I left that church because, which the Spirit told me to, and I also left it because I didn't want to bring any more hurt on the pastor, which my mom was the musician there at that church because she preached as well. And just imagine the hurt for her to see her daughter going through. And yes, she was there with me fighting to the end. But yeah, just to see your child experiencing this, and I left because I didn't want the pastor to have to go through all of this with his members. And the thing is, the pastor and I never met one-on-one. Whatever I asked him to do, it was like standing there in the church. Never went to him one-on-one. Whatever the Lord instructed me to do, I went to the pastor in front of the people, after church while everybody is, talking and whatever. That's when I asked. I never went to his office and asked. I never called. It was never a one-on-one situation. But yeah, it was really sad. And it was at that moment that I was like, okay, God, these women are not going to try to help me at all. They are going to fight me to the end. But it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. And the thing is, the next church that I joined went through similar situation. I said, Lord, why everywhere I go, it is a fight for me to do what you told me to do. What is going on? What is going on? I'm stepping in here with a good heart, eager, anxious to do what you told me to do, and it's a fight. It is a fight. People saying things about me and this, that, and the third, and it was ridiculous. But this is not about me. I just want you to know that I've experienced it. I went through it, and it's crazy. And let me go back here. Okay, I put it. It makes me think of a pastor that has his flock coming to him with their problems, and the pastor designate people, under him to lighten the load because they already have a task of going to God to give the people a word for his people and a people for his word. So basically, that is what it reminds me of. Is what the father-in-law told Moses to do. It reminds me of the pastor saying, okay, I'm putting you as the youth pastor. I'm putting you over the deacons. I'm putting you over the usher board. I'm putting you, over the Sunday school. I'm putting you over the kitchen. Because, baby, I don't know if y'all know about Black church, but, baby, that kitchen, it is the area where the most mess come from. But anyway, yeah, that's what it is. It reminds me of the pastor designating different people over different things, and then they can handle it within that, within that board, the usher board, the kitchen. But when it comes to like a big blowout, then that's what they bring to the pastor. So that's what it reminds me of. Okay, so we're going to do 19, Israel at Sinai. So the Lord told Moses, I'm going to come to you in a dense cloud so that the people will hear when I speak with you and always believe you. Tell them to consecrate themselves today and tomorrow, to wash their clothes and be prepared by the third day, because I'm appearing on the third day. Didn't Jesus rise from the dead on the third day? Okay. Put boundaries for the people all around the mountains and say, be careful not to touch the base of the mountain nor go up the mountain. Anyone who touches the mountain must be put to death. Baby, don't touch that mountain. Don't even go near it. No hand may touch him. Instead, he'll be stoned or shot with an arrow and not live, whether animal or human. When the ram horns sound a long blast, they must go up to the mountain, and Moses is going to come down from the mountain and tell the people what the Lord said, and also tell them to not have sexual relations. Okay, so in Exodus 20 is the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt not make any graven image. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them nor serve them. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother, so that your days can be long on the earth. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, his wife, his man, nor his maidservant, his ox, his ass, nor anything that belongs to the neighbor. And then it goes into the book of the covenant and worship and justice. So we're going to stop right there. Thank you, guys. You know, that 10 Commandments really is something. It's so funny that people think that the word in the Old Testament does not live today, baby. It's in the word. The word lives, it moves, it breathes. So whatever was in the Old Testament, these 10 Commandments still apply to us today. So don't take them for granted. Take them, learn them, live them. Y'all have a good, great, fantastic day. You are created to win. Bye.